Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Action Figure Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Force Awakens 12-inch Hero Series Rey as seen on the planet Jakku. Now, as y'all know, I don't do a whole lot of reviews of Hasbro's 12-inch shampoo bottles, as they're affectionately called. But after looking at the set that we recently looked at featuring C-3PO, BB-8, and RO4L0, I thought I would check out another one, and Rey, of course, insanely popular character, whose merchandise has been very difficult to track down even now, several months removed from the film release. This 12-inch Rey recently came out. I picked this one up on Amazon.com for $9.99. Looking at the packaging, you can see that it has the same typical Star Wars Force Awakens style packaging that Hasbro does on their 12-inch figures. It's got the black and red color theme, the white Star Wars The Force Awakens lettering, and then an image there of Rey at the bottom. Kind of looks a little bit like Padme from The Phantom Menace in that picture. On the side, you see more of that image of Rey. Opposite side shows you other characters that you can purchase in Hasbro's 12-inch line. And at the back, yet another look at that same portrait of Rey. It says, Rey is a resilient survivor, a scavenger toughened by a lifetime of dealing with the cutthroats of the harsh desert world of Jakku. And that's basically the same description that Hasbro uses on pretty much all of their Rey figures and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get Rey out of the box. Pretty eager to see what this is like. I don't have really high hopes for this because, well, it's a 12-inch figure, but let's take a look anyway and see what she's like. So here is Rey out of the box, and I gotta say, I'm not impressed, but I'm not disappointed either. I think that this actually looks pretty good when you consider that this is a $10 12-inch figure. I think the sculpt is actually pretty good. I think the likeness to Daisy Ridley is pretty spot on. The proportions of the figure are quite nice. It's very nicely sculpted. I think that the coloration on her costume and on her skin tone is pretty nicely done. They certainly got the outfit right, and it does feel quite a bit like the 3 3/4 inch scale figure. So I'm going to compare those and see exactly how alike they are. You also get a single accessory with Rey, which is her staff that she carries along through most of the film. Give you an up close here of her face, and she is kind of looking a little bit down. It looks like her head doesn't really go up any more than that, but I think that it's a pretty nice likeness. It's definitely sculpted very well, and the paint is mostly clean. I think that they did a good job. I mean, it certainly looks like this is Rey, and I like it. I mean, the skin tone, perhaps it's a little bit pale, but it looks about right. There's some blush on her cheeks, of course, and the paint is pretty clean for the most part. You can see that her eyes are nicely painted, the eyebrows, the lips, all that's really nicely painted. The hairline looks quite good. They did a really nice job here. The hair, of course, very simple. It's all one tone, brown. And I think by and large, it's a very nice head sculpt. I'm happy with it. Rest of the costume is basically what you saw in the film. It looks like they really got the coloration right. I mean, this to me looks, to my eye, like what I remember seeing in The Force Awakens, and really good detail. I like the bandages there on the arms. Those are nicely sculpted, nicely textured, and you can see in her shirt she's got some nice folds here on the side. Pretty natural looking. The outer garment is pretty nicely done too. Oh no, I think this is a pretty nicely done job with the outfit. I mean, it's at least as good as you could possibly expect it to be, so that's quite good. The pouch right there looks okay. Rest of the belt isn't too bad, but you see it has a leathery sort of look to it. She's also got like a leather strap there on her left wrist. The hands look a little bit pink to me. If you look at the rest of her skin tone, it looks a little bit more peach, but the hands for some reason do look a little bit too pink, and that's kind of interesting. Very odd. And then you can see more of her skin tone down here on the bottom, peach. So you can definitely see the contrast there. Legs look very nice, nice sculpt work again on the robes. The shoes look good, pretty nice texture on them. They did a really nice job here for the most part. Again, I'm not expecting this to be a mind-blowing figure, but for what it is, I'm very happy with the way that this turned out. I think it's admirable. In the way of articulation, Rey has a ball joint here at her head. It goes side to side pretty decently. It is a stiff joint, but it doesn't really go up or down all that much. You can rotate her shoulders a full 360 degrees. She has swivels at both of her wrists, which is quite nice. And then you can swivel her at the hips. She doesn't get a full 90 degrees, but I think that it's pretty sufficient considering that at a 12-inch scale, she probably doesn't need to fit in any vehicles or anything. We do get Rey's staff, and I think it's pretty nice. It does seem like they took the same model that they used for the 3 3/4 inch figure and just blew it up. I mean, you can totally see that with the way that it's sculpted, the way the strap drapes on it. Giving you a look here up close. It's not too bad. Coloration seems pretty spot on, in my opinion. It's got some white. The strap could have been colored, but hey, it's not too bad. And because she has swivels at the wrists, you can have her hold her staff in both hands, which I think goes a long way. I really feel that articulated wrists really help a figure in terms of articulation, even though they're basically one more piece of articulation on a figure, 2 if you count both of the wrists. It really helps a lot, because if this were a lightsaber, she would be able to swivel it in 360 degrees, which I think Hasbro should continue to do at the very bare minimum swivel wrists on their figures, because it really, really helps with posability. Here's the 3 3/4 inch basic 5-point of articulation Rey figure. And the 12-inch one is definitely this one just blown up. And this is apparent through the creases on the outfit. If you look at it carefully, the creases and the folds in the fabric are exactly the same on both figures. So it's the same thing, but of course, different paint on the 12-inch figure. This one is very pale. I just think that the 12-inch one, they did a pretty admirable job with it, and definitely an improvement over the small version. In terms of her height, Rey stands at about 11.5 inches tall. Now, if we look at some of the other 12-inch figures that I have reviewed, we'll find that Rey is not in scale with the other characters. Obviously, she's not that tall when compared to Captain Phasma, and she's taller than 3PO, which I don't quite think is correct. So it doesn't seem that Hasbro's 12-inch line is in scale between figures, but I think that as large-scale figures, they make pretty nice standalone pieces. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars The Force Awakens 12-inch Hero Series Rey. Overall, you guys, I do think that it's a pretty nicely done figure. Yeah, the 12-inch line is geared toward children, but I gotta give credit where it's due, and I think that they did a very admirable job with Rey. The sculpt work on her is very nicely accomplished. Costume is very nicely sculpted. I think the coloration across the board is very nice. Great skin tone. They didn't go too heavy on the makeup. The paint lines are very nice and clean. There aren't really any obnoxious blemishes or anything unsightly here. The accessory is nice, though I really do think they should have thrown in a lightsaber, because at this point, this figure is just coming out now. It's not really a spoiler anymore that she used a lightsaber in the film, so I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. She's got 7 points of articulation, which, isn't great, but it isn't bad either. Again, for a $10 12-inch figure, I'm actually really surprised they gave her wrists, and I'm really glad that they did, because like I said earlier, they really help out with posability. All in all, you guys, I think that this is a keeper. I'm really happy that I ordered it, and I'm not quite sure that I'm going to continue doing 12-inch figures, but I'm definitely open to the possibility. Alright, my friends, I do hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this 12-inch Rey figure, and whether or not it's something you would add to your own collection. Be sure and follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the latest in news and updates. And as always, I do want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Till next time, my friends. Bye-bye.